All right, this question says solve. That means I want this x by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to observe where the equal sign is. Now note, if I'm solving, my goal is to get x by itself. So I don't care about this -8. I need everything gone from the side with the x. So I'm going to always deal with the number that's farther from the x first, right? This is x divided by 4. It's right there. I'm going to deal with this number first. So I'm going to do +5 and +5. I'm left with x over 4 equals -8 plus 5 is -3, right? More negatives than positives, I'm subtracting. Then this is x divided by 4, and so I'm multiplying by 4. Negative times positive is negative. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so I get x equals 12. And if I want to check it, I can just kind of go back up here and do it in my head. Look, -12 divided by 4, that's -3. -5 minus 3 is -8. Perfect. Okay, Miss Broderick has 40 pencils in the cup at the beginning of the year. Each day, 5 mysteriously disappear. True story. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form looks like this. And what I remember about slope-intercept form is that this is always my starting point, and this is always my rate of change. Okay, so here I'm going to write y equals. Now my starting point is that I'm starting with 40 pencils. Okay, and then what's happening to the pencils? 5 are mysteriously disappearing. So am I losing pencils or gaining pencils? I'm losing pencils. This is -5 is my slope, and make sure to put the x. Rearrange -5x minus 4y equals -8 into slope-intercept form. Okay, so this is slope-intercept form. So what I'm going to observe is that this y is by itself. So since the y is by itself, look, I'm going to take this equation, and I'm basically solving for y. Right? I want y to be by itself on the left side and everything else to be on the right. Like I want this term with the x on the right. So what I need to do is knock it off the left. This is -5x, so I'm going to do +5x. I'm going to bring down, I'm not going to forget that negative sign. I'm going to bring down, look, I'm going to bring it down just like this. The term with the x first, and then the term without the x. Notice I didn't do any math here. I didn't combine. These are not like terms. I can't combine them. Okay, then I'm going to get y by itself. How? Well, y is being multiplied by -4, so I'm going to divide by -4. 5 divided by 4, right? First, positive divided by negative is negative. 5 divided by 4 is 5 over 4. X, and then negative divided by negative is positive, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. When I'm graphing this, so option 1 is to graph it by doing this, to rearrange it, okay? So this is the first option, okay? And I'm just going to do it really quick. It's just exactly what I just did. I'm moving the term with the x first, and then dividing to get the y by itself. 4 over 3, and look, this is all positive, okay? So that's my first option, and I can start at +2, and then I go up 4, right 3, right? My rise over run is 4 over 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and just sketch this line. Okay. That's the easiest kind of preferred option. You can also plug in and find the x and y intercepts. So if I were to plug in 0 for x, look, I'm going to do it in my head. If I plug in 0 for x, then I would have 3y equals 6. That's y is 2. If I were to plug in 0 for y, look, then I would have -4x equals 6. I'm going to have to use my calculator for this. 6 divided by -4 is -1.5, right? And look, that's exactly what I would have gotten. So I'd have graphed 0, 2, and -1.50, and graph the line. Okay, usually I don't give it to you decimals, and it won't be on the final. Okay, solve the system. Here's what I observe right away when I see the system. I observe there's a y by itself, right? This is slope-intercept form, and I observe standard form. So when I observe something like this, I think to myself, oh, this y, that's the same as this y. So I can take this equation here and rewrite, instead of this y, I can write this 2x minus 9. And then that way, I'll have an equation that only has x's in it. So that'll look like this. Okay, so now let's do the math. I'm going to distribute here. So 4 times 2, 4 times -9. Okay, now everything else I'm just bringing down. So the only math I did right here was this distributing. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. And now I'm going to get x by itself. So first I'm going to get rid of this 36. -24 plus 36 is the same as 36 minus 24. That's 12. And when I divide by 6, I get x equals 2. Now, you might be tempted to be done here, but this says solve this system, which means I need an x and a y, so I am almost there. I'm going to plug this x in right here and find my y value. And now I'm done. Graph the system. I observe these are both in slope-intercept form. Lovely for me. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start at the y-intercept of 3. And the slope is 1. So I make that into a fraction. It's 1 over 1. So I'm going to rise 1, run 1. And when I sketch the line, it looks something like this. Then here, I'm going to start at the y-intercept. And my slope is -2. So it's -2 over 1. So I'm going to go down to right 1. So again, I'm just going to very neatly sketch this, right? When we have a computer, it's easier because it does it for us. And my solution is right here, and that point is, right, this is always x and the y, so the x value is -2, and the y value is 1.